So the world is settling into what the swap of the administration is going to look like. You've got a lot of conversations going on out there, a lot of interesting people being brought to the middle of this new administration. I can't wait to see what happens with Robert Kennedy Jr. That's going to be an interesting release, what turning him loose on certain areas. And then Elon Musk, that's the one that really, really surprises me. It surprised me, but doesn't at the same time, just because of the amount of time he's had involved. And so when you're looking at the talking points that he's had when he's had opportunities to chat about it, the nearly 300 um, government agencies that we have, so more than one agency created per year that the government has been in existence, or that our country's been in existence, and the fact that he believes that we could cut that down to one third of its current size, so 99 agencies. And I know it's less than 300, but some are approaching that. That's a lot of unemployment, guys. If you look back over the last couple of years and you start looking at the unemployment numbers and then the numbers of job creations and how much the present administration was screaming how great they were doing for jobs, and then how many of those jobs are tied to government agencies, that's an enormous amount of unemployment. Unemployment has been fueling a lot of what's going on in the rates. So if unemployment happens to be a way of dropping rates or pushing some things in the economy, that could be a fuel for that. This can be an interesting thing to consider. We're talking about interest rates being, they go up when the market's, increasing, as far as the mortgage-backed securities, when stocks, in fact, we've shown this. I'll just show it here on the charts, just so we have that as a reference. When the stock market takes a hit, the mortgage-backed securities benefit. So this is when the stock market took a massive hit. It benefited. Stock market took money back. It left our bond market and slowly crawled back. Then we get the Fed raising the rate here. As a result, that stock market took off and it started to climb. And then we see when Trump gets elected. I mean, all these things, right? We broke out of the channels in that time, and now we're seeing yes, that's right here. Broke out of the channel because of the stock market and continue to climb out of the channel. Now things are kind of settling in the stock market a little bit. And you see this gap down open today. Yesterday was right here. That was Veterans Day. Market wasn't open. Gap down open of 32 points. So a drop of 32 points just at the open, meaning nobody was bidding on that, where they placed their bids at a certain point where they thought it was of value to them, which is really right below. Let me see here. Which moving average is this one? This is our, looks like 14-day moving average. So it's really not really influential in my opinion. So it opened just below that, dropped down to the line we have here. I'll erase that. So right this line where I've drawn this out. So it landed right on that. That's our support. So we're going to bounce. I'm thinking it's going to come back up and close this gap. That's my belief. So think about this. If jobs were the reasons why rates would go up, right? Because look at this here, go all the way back. Sorry about all this. Right here, this whole run was due to the current administration talking about how awesome they're doing for the economy and improving jobs. Then we got the reality of jobs from the Bureau of Labor statistics. They couldn't keep jerking us off, and then ended up climbing back up here. So that was driven mainly by jobs, this whole movement here. So we get to a point and it was saying that we didn't have the jobs that we really thought. That was all mainly from COVID, and people were working 2 and 3 jobs, and that's what drove this back up. Well, if that's the case, and we end up in a situation where we have a cutting of extreme amounts of government agencies that are completely unnecessary, my opinion, then we're going to have those jobs like this scenario, right? Job problems. Money might flood back in. We might see that might be the one thing that bounces up above this potentially. But then what does that mean for our economy? So you're going to have a massive amount of unemployed folks. But also we have tariffs. A lot of people are saying, what do you think about the tariff situation? That's going to be a big problem. Well, it's bringing up the price of cheap crap to where it would bring it to the same price as local good stuff, made in USA. So if manufacturing gets cranking again and we start really building up our economy and we start really adding job need, but then you're taking people out of areas where they're really not serving our economy at all and putting where they would serve the economy, I think that's a win. Personally, I think that's the way to go about this. But they only have 4 years to pull that crap off, so they better be already stacking stuff. There's just the day Duke gets inaugurated, walks up, hand on the Bible, does their swearing in right into that building, start signing some stuff, and then do the walk to the White House, get it all signed out, get everything in place, rock and frickin' roll. That's Aaron Chapman's opinion. So, but today we have that gap open. So we'll see how that crawls back. I believe it's going to crawl back, but if it doesn't crawl back, we got to fall below us. But we've got another support right below that. We'll just see how this all plays out. I'll talk to you guys on Friday, unless something crazy happens this week, and I'll jump back in and throw stuff out to you.